Okay, let's waste no time with this one. Redoing this level, and this whole segment is going to be post-commentary, which I normally don't really like to do, because sometimes it's even worse than my regular, but I don't think it could get much worse than the last couple segments. So after this thing, I decided to go ahead and record some of the more boring levels, and they are all sped up, so I'm just gonna get those all out of the way now. This frickin' level. I'm, like, astonished that I actually got through this in time, especially with mistakes like that. But I did. Couldn't tell you how I did it. I guess having a good route helps, but it's not like I planned for one. I just kind of went ahead and did it. And, yeah, ending near the middle also helps, so then you don't have to go 55 years away to get the star, because it's right there. So, guess that one's out of the way. It doesn't stop the game from being a dick, though. Okay, yeah, now going straight into Sea Slide, because we all love this level. That's exactly why I did it, because it sucks. I don't know how long this rant is going to last. Not even a rant, but just random little... Someone's phone's ringing. Random little diversion I can go on here about water levels in general. Because before, like, before I went to message boards all the time, I never knew that people hated water levels. Because I never really thought of them in a negative way or in any sort of way other than just other levels, which is a little weird because they definitely are different, but it all goes back to the original Super Mario Bros. I remember reading an article on that interview about how it was designed and all the things that, like, all the thought that went into it. And I remember they said they wanted to have a game where you explore on land and the sky and underwater. The sky didn't have as much, it had a couple bonus levels, but yeah, the underwater levels were there just kind of to fill a quota, I guess, because that's what they wanted to do. And it came up with the standard 2D swimming physics of if you do nothing, you sink, if you press A, you go up. And it worked, and the fireballs being able to use underwater probably helped out a lot, but the levels were also very annoying if you didn't have fireballs, because the bloopers were dicks, but that's beside the point. The point is, every Mario game since then has felt the need to include water levels in it, and I don't know why I sound like I'm just reading an article here, because I'm not. I'm talking in, like, this weird, formal way. I have no idea. Anyway, they've all had the water levels, except for the American Mario 2, which doesn't really count. And they haven't really changed a whole lot, honestly. And I think they're kind of just in there for the sake of being in there, because maybe they didn't feel like designing any ground levels. Like, they didn't want to do any more of those, and they wanted to bring the number up, so hey, let's just do a bunch of water levels. Like, don't have to do anything interesting with these. Like, some of the ones in New Super Mario Bros., I think there was, like, a couple interesting ones, like where you get chased by the big eel, but mostly it's just, like, a straight shoot, and there's a couple, like, holes that try to suck you down into them, and there's a lot of fish to dodge, and that's about it. Ones that are a mix are a lot better, but I don't know. Mario 64, I think, wasn't too terrible, but I'm probably just biased towards that game in general. Dire Dire Docks is probably the most boring level in the game, even if I will defend it for whatever reason. Mario Sunshine, of course, then had the worst freaking swimming ever, and the whole game was tropical themed, so every level had water in it. Luckily, none of them focused too much on it, but when they did, it was terrible. The, Underwater Noki Bay segment was, like, the most beautiful location. It really was. And yet, the controls were so bad that you never want to go back there. It was like It was actually very similar to the 2D swimming, where you just drop if you do nothing, except in a 3D environment, and that doesn't really work that well. I don't know why they would do it that way when the Mario 64 swimming was so much better. Oh yeah, here's the point where I have 99 coins, and I have no idea where the last freaking one is, but I think I spotted it, so... Thank God this is sped up, and I cannot get up on this freaking perch either. But yeah, I just finished reading a Waluigi's article on, like, level design in Sunshine, and saying, like, basically that it sucked, and that they should have had a lot more inspiration for things. I don't think the level design was that terrible, but it definitely could have used improvement, and then people would have probably liked that game a lot better. But, I don't know, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the frickin' Mario Galaxy water levels, because these are like the most boring goddamn things ever. Finish this one, and here's Deep Dark. Hey look, it's another water level. See the theme yet? Yeah, I'm gonna be doing all three of them in this one, just to get them out of the way. They're just kind of uninspired. I mean, the one I just did, I'm trying to figure out the thought process for designing that level. It's as if they probably designed that manta surfing level first, and saw that it was just a big tube of water floating in space, and they're like, hey, this is actually pretty cool looking. Maybe we should do a whole level like this. And so, going off of the idea of simply having a tube of water, and then all they do to expand on this is just put bits of land here and there, and put a random tower, and kind of just a mishmash of stuff. There's no flow. It's just... You can't describe the level other than ring of water with, like, a tree. It's just boring. I hate that level. I've complained about it a ton of times, but my god, I hate that level. It takes forever to go where you want to, and I don't know why you would want to go anywhere, because there's nowhere interesting to go, and that's why, like, 2 or 3 of the missions were just races. Like, weren't they? I think there was a penguin race, the whale race, and then there was a Cosmic Mario race. It's like, you think that's enough? When they put in 3 races in a level with 6 missions, where one of the others is purple coins, and one of the others is just a rehash of a mini galaxy from earlier on in the game, then you know you have a crappy level. This one was a bit better, I think. It had, like, that little thing at the beginning. It was kind of annoying to go through. It was kind of like the gauntlet at the beginning of Tiny Huge Island in Kaizo Mario, but not nearly as bad, obviously. It's just kind of a bunch of hoops you have to jump through before you're allowed to continue. And then, once you get to this pirate ship, it kind of just loses interest. I mean, hey, pirates are cool, we'll put them in, except, no, we'll just put in a ship. Actually, it's not even a pirate ship, it's just a ship. I say pirate ship just out of habit, I guess. It's just a ship, there's nothing on it, there's nothing cool. There isn't even, like, a cannon or anything that you can do. Like, even the ship in Rainbow Ride had a cannon. I guess it's supposed to be a haunted ship, but there's only, like, a couple ghosts here. The haunted ship in Mario World, now that was a good level, because it had ghosts every freaking where. Like, why couldn't they recreate that in 3D? Oh, I know why, because 3D swimming is still awkward as hell. Like, I don't know, I mean, I just complained about the Mario Sunshine swimming, but this kind is not good either. It just usually doesn't work. This game already has control problems with moving in 3 dimensions. I don't know. Or, like, on the weird, like, the spherical planets, you never know what way you're gonna end up. Come on, just get... There we go. Okay, so, now that I've gotten that star, I'm done complaining about that level. Here's Beach Bowl. it's another water level. It feels like a quarter of Honey Hive with water. I don't know. Like, just the land section, it just feels Honey Hive-ish to me. There's nothing amazing about it. There's nothing there, and then there's just a bunch of water. I don't know. So, example of a good water level would be Jolly Roger Lagoon from Banjo-Tooie, which you can bash on Banjo-Tooie for having large levels with nothing in them if you want to, but that level was actually really cool. It had a little, like, seaside town with stuff to do in the shops, and then the underwater section was actually really cool. It had a lot of temples in it. You weren't defenseless underwater because you could shoot eggs. The submarine was kind of cool. It just had a nice atmosphere to it. I liked that place. And as much as I pick on Donkey Kong 64, I kind of like Gloomy Galleon in that game, too. It might be the level that I hate least, actually. Like, I don't know, I like Fungus Forest, or Fungi Forest, whichever one it is. Whatever one it isn't is the one that was supposed to be in Banjo-Kazooie, but whatever. I kind of like that to an extent. It has some really terrible parts. Same with Creepy Castle. Frantic Factory, actually, I take it back, is probably the best one. I don't know, I just like factory levels, but... yeah, Gloomy Galleon, I don't know, it just... if it didn't have that segmented feel to it, like every other Donkey Kong 64 level, which I don't know if I'm ever going to actually get around to LPing that game, or doing videos making fun of it, but... if you've played the game or seen it, I think you'll know what I mean. Everything just feels artificially segmented. If it didn't have that, then it would be better, but it's still okay. It's got a bunch of sunken ships, it's got a lighthouse, it's... like, the lighthouse isn't pointless either, you actually go inside it, and... I don't know. Point is, if you're gonna have a water level, make it interesting. I know it's hard, but you can do it. And now we wander around and get more coins. So yeah, I've ranted about water levels for 12 minutes now. Awesome. Maybe 11. Because the first bit didn't have me talking about this. I wasn't really expecting to go anywhere with this rant. I'm not, like, expecting any developers to listen to this and be like, oh, hey, water levels do suck, maybe we should make better ones. But I needed something to fill the time, and I realized that all three of these were water levels. I actually didn't do that intentionally. And so I'm like, hey, why not? I still say that when designed well, they can be very good, but a lot of them aren't. God, this freaking level. How many times did I say level and water in this episode? Yeah, I had to use the spring suit, too. That made me super happy. Luigi sounds weird, sped up. It's like, point! And I keep hearing Pikmin noises, too. I'm surprised that I can hear it all, because this headset doesn't have sound coming through it, but yet I hear sound coming out of the computer speakers. But when I was testing this, like, testing the headset in Audacity, I'd, like, record it and play it back. I couldn't hear that. I don't know why. This headset is weird. It's Brenna's broken one. So yeah, here once again, I got 99 coins. Luckily, I found the last one right there. I thought that I got all the underwater ones. Evidently, I didn't. And there we go. Next time, maybe we won't have water levels. I don't remember exactly all the ones that are left, but a couple of them will be interesting, I assume. So see you then.